Right, so today we have another interview. This one is with David, the founder of ByteAI. But before we get into it, we need to get the disclaimers out of the way. The content here is purely educational. I am not a financial advisor, and the content in these videos is not financial advice. With all that said and done, it's good to have you here, David. Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself and the project? What is ByteAI and where did the concept come from?
Yes, so pleasure to be here and thank you for having me on.
Yeah, very welcome. Great to have you here.
And yes, so essentially to give a bit of a background, I'm a blockchain developer. I've been in the field for several years. I've also got a lot of experience in AI. Founder of ByteAI, the project, and essentially me and we have a few core developers as well, teams, a few people. Essentially, ByteAI it's an AI powered decentralized news platform that is attempting to cut through the bias and censorship in modern day mainstream media. And we do this through essentially utilizing AI and blockchain technology.
Okay, interesting. So, if you could just expand on that a bit, why is there a need for bias-free news and how does AI benefit this use case?
So currently in the modern day news system, the average participant is reliant on third parties to give them up-to-date information about a variety of topics, whether it be financial news, it could be just modern day pop culture, any kind of news.
Sure.
Essentially, all of this is through a third party. And of course, that involves a risk of bias. People are covering certain topics in more depth. They are adding opinions. They are essentially misrepresenting facts and various other things. And that's been a core problem. And you can see this in lots of recent topics, presidential elections,
Sure.
various financial, controversies, and then also the recent war stuff. All of these things are being massively misconstrued by the mainstream media parties. So that's where we come in, really. We offer a more universally bias-free, objective covering of major topics, and we currently cover a lot of fields. So we do finance, politics, AI, crypto, fair different few.
Okay, cool. So it's spanning across worldwide media. It's not just, specific to crypto news.
That is correct, yes. So we initially started with crypto news. That was our first, MVP. And
Sure.
then essentially we expanded from there to cater to the needs of basically what our community was demanding, which was more mainstream variety of sources. So we do politics, financial news, variety of different stuff.
Incredible. That's super interesting. So I suppose my next question would be why on the blockchain? Is this something you could have done, in a more traditional landscape, or did you need to do it within blockchain and crypto?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Essentially, what the value add that crypto provides for this particular use case is the ability to store and run this whole, protocol via decentralized storage. So essentially, with Web 2, traditionally, you have to host AI models, algorithms, anything on centralized servers such as AWS or some other kind of file storage platform. Essentially, what crypto provides for us is a decentralized way to operate our platform. We're not reliant on a third party that could potentially shut us down or censor. The whole thing is hosted with Filecoin, which is a crypto project that we're integrated with. And that provides the decentralized element, and it kind of just reinforces the narrative that, we're free from interference from any third party.
Yeah, love it. Okay. And just going off from that, it's probably a good time to ask, what is your connection with BitTensor?
Yes, so essentially, BitTensor it kind of offers a few value adds to our project. Firstly, we are mining on BitTensor as essentially a way to generate revenue for the token. It was initially useful in the early stages when we were trying to gain traction because it was a source of revenue. We're currently scaling that out. However, primarily we're kind of moving along from focusing entirely on BitTensor because we've realized that there's plenty of other protocols that are more beneficial to us in terms of hosting and also facilitating our platform.
Right.
So yes, use them mainly as a revenue source at the minute.
Sure. Okay. And the token is Byte?
Correct, yes.
Okay, cool. Can you tell me a little bit more about the token utility?
Yeah, of course. So essentially, the way our token works is as in people can hold it, it's tradable on Ethereum. There's a transaction tax for people who want to buy and sell it. In terms of the value add for it, people are able to essentially purchase ads through a decentralized way on our platform, and essentially the revenue from that is bought back and burn of Byte.
Okay.
And we have the thing with this protocol, it's a work in progress. So as we continue to flesh out and add more value to the protocol, we're looking to add various different ways to circumvent value back to the Byte token. We're currently working on like a consensus mechanism that will allow people to vote on ads that they'd like to essentially host on the platform.
Sure.
That will all be facilitated through the Byte token as well. So
like a governance element.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Did you guys do a raise? If so, how much was raised? When did it occur? And who were your backers?
Yes, so we just did a tiny seed round a few months ago. And then essentially from that point onwards, we just went live. There's been no public sale or large, like main round. We've just done a tiny seed round, and that was mainly for people that would essentially help to drive adoption to the platform and the token. So influencers, I guess you could call them, but also adopters. But yeah, it was very small as a percentage of total token allocation.
And no VC involvement?
We currently have one VC that we're working with on like an advisory capacity, which is a Genesis Capital.
Yeah, okay, cool. But mainly KOLs?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Well, this segues nicely onto the next question, which is if it was KOLs or whoever invested, what was their vesting schedule? And then further to that, what does the general emission schedule look like?
So essentially, the KOLs are vested on a 2-month basic total time frame.
Okay.
And most of the vesting has already taken place.
How long have you guys been launched for? Like live?
About 1.5 months, I would say.
So vesting's nearly over then?
Yes, correct. 1 month, 1 week, perhaps. And essentially, the rest of the token supply has been circulating since launch. We do not have a extensive unminted or undistributed section of the token supply, and our FDV is very similar to our circulating supply.
Okay, that's great. That's always good to hear. Okay, so what is the FDV and market cap of the project at current?
So I mean, it's of course volatile, but it's currently sat at around 8 million.
Sure.
Market cap, and FDV is probably a bit similar, maybe a little bit higher.
Sure.
Maybe,
did you say 9?
Maybe 9 or 10, for FDV. Of course, variable.
Cool. Okay. Next question is moving on to marketing. Do you guys place any emphasis on marketing? If so, what are your efforts in this domain? And do you have a general strategy?
Yes. So essentially, our marketing strategy, we believe to some extent that our platform itself should, drive some organic adoption and traction. But of course, we're aware it's Web3. There is benefits to accelerating this process, and essentially the way we go about this is kind of through social media marketing primarily. We have several influencers that we're partnered with that are helping to raise awareness. It's kind of a necessary tenet of a successful Web3 project, we believe.
Yeah.
On top of that, also, we're doing interviews like this. Other YouTube promotions have occurred and will continue to do so. And then the final core thing is Twitter Spaces. Admittedly, that's still under the social media umbrella, but it involves more of like a discussion where we're kind of underlining the key value out of the project. They're the main tenets of our marketing strategy. Yeah,
great. Okay, cool. In terms of like where you're at the moment, how many users does your platform have like at current, and what are your long-term goals for the product?
So we currently have about 3,000 users of our various news platforms, which are mainly now on Telegram. I'm sure we probably can dive into some of the plans in the future, but essentially that's where they're hosted currently. And we have about 3,000 users. And that's been growing exponentially since launch. In terms of future plans. I mean, essentially, we're trying to take this mainstream. We want to, we want our platforms to be the go-to for unbiased, objective news. So, that could be, it's hard to put a number on goals like that because, it massively depends on various factors, but, we hope to grow exponentially from here for sure.
100%. Well, I think there's a huge demand for unbiased news. I personally know a lot of, even my friends and family, some of them don't like, watching or reading the news just purely because they don't know what agenda, the deliverers have behind them. So really like what you guys are doing. In terms of like exchanges and availability to buy the token from an investor's perspective, I can see at current you guys are only trading on Uniswap, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, cool. Are there any other plans to get listed on, say, a centralized exchange?
Yeah, so we're not ruling this out as a possibility in the future. For sure, it's definitely a tool to help drive adoption. It's not something that's on our initial, upcoming plans because essentially we're pretty content with operating on a DEX for now.
Sure.
But yeah, it's something that's definitely can be considered later down the line.
Okay, cool. Well, David, it's been great chatting to you, mate. I think I've pretty much asked all the questions I need to ask. Is there anything else you want to sort of allude to my audience?
Yeah, just if you'd like to check us out on any of our platforms, I'm sure there'll be some links in the description, but essentially, if you'd like to find out more about us, we're on Twitter, Telegram. You can join our Telegram, ask questions, look into the Byte token, anything in this regard. We're always happy to help and fill anyone in on what we're trying to deliver.
Great. Okay. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, David. And yeah, great to chat and have a lovely day.
Thank you very much. You too.
Cheers, man.